right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and refresh the screen here. All right. Once you come in, just say hello, smash that like button. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to count down here for about another minute, and then we will be ready to go. Trying to pull up the comments on my side. Once you come in, do me a favor, say good morning, say hello. Once you come in, there we go. All right, looks like I got everything pulled up on my end. We have about 56, 54, 53. Let me know what you're drinking this morning. I got a cup of coffee here and a Diet Mountain Dew that I'm about to crack open here. There we go. So this morning we're going to be talking about, or this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're at, we're going to be talking about, we're going to look at the market prices very, very quickly, but then we're also going to be talking about the EU and their new kill switch on DeFi. People oftentimes say governments can't stop decentralized finance. Governments can't stop blockchain. Government can't stop Bitcoin. And although in theory that is true, governments can dissuade many people from using this technology, at least in the short to medium term, or I should say at least in the long term, but in the very long term, probably not. Oh, there we go. We'll stop it right there. I hate the little ding that it makes at the very end, so we'll kind of keep that out of there. We're also going to be looking at some recent scams that have been busted in crypto, and because of that, I want to show you. In cryptocurrency, there's no reason to fall for these passive income 1% day type scams. I mean, I'm going to show you two protocols in particular, or I shouldn't say protocols, two investment strategies in particular. One is currently earning almost 0.5% per day, and one is earning, at the time of this video, over 3% per day, and has been for several weeks to several months. So you don't have to chase crazy, high risk ridiculousness when it comes to crypto, meaning, let me rephrase that. All these projects are high risk. You don't have to chase scams. You don't have to be like, oh, they're using these monies to somehow invest in sports, or they're using these monies to somehow invest in arbitrage trading, but you can't see the arbitrage trading. I'm going to show you cryptocurrency investment strategies and or projects where you can see everything that's happening. You have an audible, not audible like hearing, auditable, A-U-D-I-T. You have an audible, real-time sort of ability to follow exactly what's going on. You don't have to worry about any guessing games. And the earnings are significant. First, we're going to go ahead and get started with the news, and we're going to kick it off with this EU kill switch on DeFi, and then we'll get to some of the passive income strategies and protocols here in a moment. By the way, if you come into the live stream, do me a favor and smash that like button. Good morning, Pro Beach Bum. Good morning. I love the beach. I love the ocean. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. In fact, I'm going to be there this weekend. By the way, those of you watching the live stream, we'll be live streaming this morning and tomorrow morning, and then I'll be traveling again. My kids have a jiu-jitsu tournament, and we will be down in Florida and or Alabama, in that area over the weekend. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. Here we go. The EU crypto kill switch has arrived. See, a lot of people I don't know, man. A lot of people have a lot more faith in the world governments than I do. If I had a lot of faith in the world governments, I probably wouldn't be in crypto, to be honest with you. But if you look right here, the Europe's Data Act, January 2024, went into force, and this legislation has far-reaching requirements that could force smart contract developers to comply with strict requirements, such as terminating a live smart contract even in cases where the smart contract features immutability, thus making any changes impossible. This law essentially is going to contradict itself. It's going to say, oh, we want you to be able to kill a smart contract even if the smart contract is immutable. what it really does ultimately is it puts liability on anyone who creates a smart contract. So if you create a smart contract and you can't terminate that smart contract, then you run the risk of running afoul of the EU regulations or EU laws. This is a problem. I mean, the whole idea behind a smart contract is that it cannot be stopped. It runs fully decentralized, and the government can't get involved in it. If you come here, this is the wording: execution of transactions. The smart contract shall include internal functions which can reset or instruct the contract to stop or interrupt the operation to avoid future accidental executions. I mean, this is ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is how governments interfere, dissuade, discourage people from essentially using decentralized finance. We mean real decentralized finance. And the problem with this is people in the article, if you go through this article, they're like, oh, decentralized finance developers and projects, they're going to move out of the EU. Ultimately, this isn't just an EU thing. I make no doubt about it. I fully believe people like Elizabeth Warren are watching what happens in the EU, how people respond to this, and what sort of effects this has. And ultimately, we may see something like this very soon in the U.S. I hope not. I hope not. But not just the U.S. We're going to see this in other developed nations as well. I truly believe this is a trend. And the thing is, this is what concerns me when we talk about wanting to see, cryptocurrency legal framework. Like right here, if you read through this article, a lot of people were optimistic, much optimism around the markets in crypto assets. People were like, oh, great, the EU is going to pass some legislation and provide some sort of framework. So we, the crypto industry, know how to operate and abide by the law. Yet when they create the framework, they essentially kill the main functions of making smart contracts immutable, uninterruptible, where people can't change them on you. And now they want you to be able to change them. It's the same nonsense when governments want technology companies to create a back door into their technology so the government can always get access to the back door. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not helpful. This is not friendly. This is concerning for anyone who cares about having economic freedom, if you will. Smart contracts are a big part of the economic freedom that we have in crypto. I think this is bearish news. I don't think this is overall good. Now, with that being said, what does this mean long term? Crypto wealth. How can you believe in crypto long term? Because, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. There are no more land masses to discover and create countries on like the American experiment in 1774. That does not exist. There will never be a new country created and a war fought for independence, in my personal opinion. At the same time, it would require, typically governments make radical changes through citizen revolts. I do not think any citizenry of any developed country stand a chance to revolt in mass against their government, nor do I want to ever see a widespread citizen revolution. That is horrible, that is dangerous, that would be bloody, that's a civil war. Nobody wants that. And I don't think that I personally don't know that we'll ever see that again in any scope or scale. However, what is most likely to happen and what can happen is that people can choose to disobey their governments if they wanted to on a large scale. And they can choose to transact in a cryptocurrency, use a smart contract. That is absolutely possible. And that could never get stopped. That ability is there. And I was flying on an airplane. I had a gentleman in his 70s, and he asked me what I did. And I said, well, I do a lot of things, but one of the things I do is I have a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. And he asked me specifically, what is the thing that makes cryptocurrency so great? And of course, I had to give my disclaimer. It depends on who you ask, what their thoughts and their opinions are. But at the end of the day, having the ability to use economic instruments to transfer value without having to get permission from your bank and or your government makes cryptocurrency incredibly unique, and I believe long term will maintain the ability for average people to be able to control their finances should they ever choose to outside of government. Now, with that being said, am I encouraging you to go disobey your government and break the laws? Absolutely not. We're not at that point yet. Pioneers always die with arrows in their back. We always hear the history of the pioneers who succeeded, but just remember, history is always written by the winners, and many, 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 many pioneers die along the way that we never ever hear of or know their name. So I'm not encouraging any one of us currently yet to take that kind of stand. I don't think that the time is here, but I do like the idea that that possibility exists today, because never in the history of the world have we ever had that possibility up until now. All right, let's keep going. Next story. Talking about the halvening, 3 traders share their insights on what's going to happen with the halvening. And what they really share in this article, and I just wanted to touch on it, what they really share is how they're buying during the halvening. This particular guy, all 3 of them essentially is finding a way to buy the dip. This guy is looking at the equity market, and he's looking at the volume of the equity market, and he's buying when the volume swells, and he's selling when the volume shrinks, and he's all excited because he beat Bitcoin's gains by 10% this month. I personally don't think that's anything to be overly excited about. He was taking some significant risk rewards just to be able to beat Bitcoin's performance in one single month, a 30-day period, by 10%. But it's a slightly complex strategy. The other 2 are a bit more straightforward. This guy here said, my advice is I would be counterintuitive. Buy Bitcoin dips when you can get it for a relatively low price. Use any Bitcoin correction between 15 to 40% to accumulate for the next big bull cycle. This is sensible. This makes sense. This prevents people from buying the very tops. I like this idea a lot. By the way, this isn't financial advice. I'm a very biased cryptocurrency YouTuber. Do me a favor, smash that like button when you come in, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like button. Thank you so much for being here. All right, person number 2 said, Chris Newhouse said that he recommends basically stink bids. And this is just putting limit orders in below the market, and he's hoping that a quick wick will basically grab the bid. So you're still buying currently. You're trying to. This is more of a shorter term strategy in many cases, and you're essentially just trying to buy in lower. You're when you place your bid, or when you're doing your dollar cost averaging or whatever, you just want to place a limit order a little bit below the market. So if the price wicks down really quick, you can grab that lower price. That's all he's saying there. And again, prevents people from buying at the tippy top. I think that's overall a good strategy. I saw this and I thought they were going to kind of give their thoughts on what they thought was going to happen with the halvening. They didn't do that. But then when this article came up, I liked it a lot. Navigating the post-halvening landscape. What I wanted to highlight here is they talk about expected Bitcoin price and network security. All you really have to do is go look at the historical halvening prices and pay attention to what the price was at the time of halvening, and then pay attention to how high it went. It went up during the halvening. And what you'll notice is the starting price, which is about where we're at now. We're getting close to the Bitcoin halvening. And then the price that it runs up over the next year, the percentage basis, you'll see that it really dips a lot. It goes down over time. The percentage of increase at the moment of halvening to the bull cycle, every bull cycle for the past several years, it's the Bitcoin price has not went up as high on a percentage basis year over year, or cycle after cycle, if that makes sense. So, for example, the first halvening, it went from $1,220 to $1,000. That's like a 20x. The second halvening, that's not wrong. That's probably supposed to be 2013. Anyway, the second halvening, it went from 640 to 2550 right here. Now here's the deal. This is a 4 to 5x. This was like a 20x. So I think it's reasonable, depending on where we're at. Let's just say that we're at about 70,000 or high 60s to in the 70s by that next halving. I think a 2 to 4x is reasonable. So that would be 140, right? If a 70 doubled to a 4x, 280. So let's just say 150 to 250. I think that's a reasonable expectation for me personally. That's what I'm thinking. And he comes out here and says the analysts are basically saying that. Well, this is wide and with very little context. I think we're definitely going to break 75,000 for God's sakes, and I hope we do, or I wouldn't even call it a bull market. But I do think 250 is possible. But for us to get to 250, that would mean that we basically would do the exact same percentage gain as we did the last halvening. Thank you, Mtron. Mind of Tron says, smash that like button. And he said he smashed it. That's what he said. He smashed it, setting the example. So everybody else, do me a favor, smash the like button. Now, this Daily Hodl article basically said that a conservative price target is 160 according to some particular trader. Listen, you're going to find people saying all sorts of stuff. You have to figure out what narrative you believe in and why. And historical data is never an accurate predictor of future price action. But historical data gives you an idea of what's possible. It doesn't mean that we can't break the trend or break out of what's possible. And there's no guarantee every happening is going to create a pump. It's just that it always has before. So we sort of expect it to in the future. Thank you, Pro Beach Bum. He said he smashed the like button already. I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. As you come in, do me a favor, hit that like button. All right. So personally, the happening's coming up here in about 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm looking forward to it always because I think one thing, okay, I shouldn't say it. I should explain this. I love the bull market. Who doesn't love a bull market? It proves us all right. It proves crypto's winning. It shuts up the naysayers. But the thing that and it brings people into crypto. I mean, it brings people into crypto, no doubt about it. Every bull cycle, there's new people who discover cryptocurrency. What I don't like about the bull market is it attracts people only to price action. And therefore, a lot of people are investing in crypto and Bitcoin and not understanding why we want decentralization, why real DeFi, not the stuff they call DeFi, real DeFi matters, why real decentralized cryptocurrency matters. And it's important that people understand that. Otherwise, a lot of people who are in crypto are going to be tricked into falling for central bank digital currencies. Now, this is an article by the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and they're recommending stablecoins and central bank digital currencies to boost Pacific Island economies. Now, this is a good idea. Basically, what a lot of people do not realize, in a lot of these small islands, they literally have to ship dollars and currency in, which is a problem on a lot of these small islands. I mean, a real problem. And so having digital currency, a digital stablecoin, could be a big help to their overall economies and how their economies work. The challenge is when we talk about central bank digital currencies, we're not talking about public blockchains. We're talking about private blockchain technology that is not public, that is not transparent in many cases, that can be controlled by whichever entity creates it. The very opposite of an immutable blockchain or immutable smart contract. So I am not confident that governments want to create something that's fair and doesn't allow them to manipulate the currency or the stable coin, so to speak. And so I get nervous anytime any concept of central bank digital currencies. I've seen, just listen. I'm just not loving the idea of a central bank digital currency. Period. End of story. I think there's too much room for manipulation, and that just, it is what it is. And I think that we're going to see, though, a lot of people in crypto, they're going to look at central bank digital currencies as just another cryptocurrency. And that's just, that's a central bank digital currency and Bitcoin could not be further from each other in as far as use cases and their ability. We'll just leave it at that. You've heard me so far. All right, and here we go. U.S. government charges KuCoin and 2 founders for alleged multi-million-dollar criminal conspiracy. So I could have almost predicted this was going to happen. There's a lot of exchanges out there. They're smaller exchanges. They're kind of lax on their KYC AML, including KuCoin. But the U.S. government will always have to go after the biggest players, almost always. And basically, they're saying the 2 co-founders of, well, let's just read through this a little bit, because this may end up being the U.S. government just over-flexing their muscle. And this is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what they do. Let me see what you guys say in the comments. Mind of Tron says, from my extensive research, we're either going up or down. Yes, absolutely. Per Beach Bone said, completely agree it would be against us. He's talking about, yes, I agree, talking about the government. Yep, and central bank digital currencies. Okay, let's keep going. By the way, The U.S. government, Department of Justice, and the Commodities Future Trading Commission have announced the unsealing of an indictment against crypto exchange KuCoin and 2 of its founders. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people want the Commodities Future Trading Commission to be in charge of crypto. And the reason is because they think the SEC is being unfair. So they're like, what's a more fair organization? Let's look at the Commodities Future Trading Commission. But are they really going to be more fair? That's my challenge. Are they really going to be more fair? All right. In a statement, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney Damon Williams and Darren McCormack, the acting special agent, yada yada, for Homeland Security. Homeland Security, guys. Like, oh my goodness. Says that KuCoin, along with the founders, conspired to commit several violations of the Bank Secrecy Act. The government says that the duo created an unlicensed money transmitting business and failed to maintain an adequate anti-money laundering program, failed to properly verify the identity of their customers, and failed to file suspicious activity reports. So I want to unpack this a little bit because I don't think most Americans realize sort of kind of how restrictive this is. First of all, the U.S. banking, you're talking to someone who's traveled all over the world, someone who has dealt with financial economies in several parts of the world. And what American citizens don't actually realize is that if you try to go to another country to open up a bank accounts are very easy to open in a lot of countries, especially a lot of Asian countries. They're very easy to open. Like, you just go in and just open an account, and it can be quick and it can be easy. And many times they don't need extensive ID per se, and they don't necessarily, they just want to make certain that they know that you have ID and that it correlates with your bank. And citizens from different countries can oftentimes relatively easily open up accounts in different countries, except for U.S. citizens. The U.S. government doesn't allow U.S. citizens to easily operate inside of other countries' financial networks. The way they prevent countries from doing this is what you're seeing here. They create very extensive, they basically say, if you're a bank and you want to allow accounts, if you want to open accounts for American citizens, then you have to do this full thing called KYC AML. You have to know their full identity. You have to keep all this information on them. And it's basically a administration nightmare for a lot of these banks. They're not set up to do that. They don't do it on any other customer. They're not just going to make exceptions only for U.S. customers. And then they have to be at the beck and call of the U.S. government to provide any data on any of the citizens who's, so you're banking with, whatever, First Bank of Asia, hypothetically. I'm just making up a name. Well, if all of a sudden you're an American citizen and the U.S. government reaches out to the First Bank of Asia, they're like, hey, can you give us all the account information on our citizen? Then the First Bank of Asia has to go through and do all that. They have to answer to everything the federal government wants, every subpoena, everything. They don't operate with that same expectation in every country around the world. And most countries, in fact, don't operate with that kind of strict oversight being needed. And so it becomes a burden for them. And that's why it's difficult for citizens in the U.S. to get banks in other countries for any reason. I mean, it's very convenient to have a bank in another country if you travel to that country often. And it's very difficult for U.S. citizens to be able to do that. Also, unlicensed money transmitting business. This sounds like very official, but it's important to understand what this is. This is a lot of people who sell Bitcoin, like person to person. They run a risk of running afoul of this right here. Localbitcoin.com is all about how you can essentially, it's like the Facebook marketplace of Bitcoin. You basically can meet somebody and exchange Bitcoin for cash. Well, the U.S. government doesn't like that. And if you do that with any regularity, then if you get busted, this is what they bust you under: operating a money transmitting business. And the challenge with that is, that's like if you make change for somebody. If you have a 20 and someone says, hey, if I can give you 10 ones, if I can give you I'll give you 19 ones if you give me a 20, because I need a $20 bill. If you do that and make too much profit, then you're essentially operating an unlicensed money transmitting business. That's a bit ridiculous in my personal opinion, particularly when you're talking about something like cryptocurrency. And it's kind of broad with, it can capture a lot of people unintentionally. The other thing that's up here that's in this article, there's a lot in here. Failed to verify the identity of their customers. Okay, and here's one. Failed to file suspicious activity reports. In the US, a lot of people think that your bank has to file if you make a transaction or withdrawal or deposit or anything like that of $10,000 or more. A lot of people in the US think that your bank has to report that to the federal government. So people do things that are a little bit shady. They try to put in like $9,000 or withdraw $9,000. They want to stay under that $10,000 limit. The $10,000 limit was true. It still is true, but since the Patriot Act happened in the US, all banks are required to quote unquote note any suspicious transaction. And because banks are worried about running foul of the US government, then a bank teller, a branch manager, if you go into the bank and you try to withdraw, and I literally know this firsthand. I know a financial advisor at a bank, he told me this himself. If you go in and withdraw $3,000, $2,000, $5,000, they're going to ask you, oh, are you going on vacation? They're going to ask something nonchalant like that. Whatever you say, they typically take note of many times, because it can be considered suspicious activity. Because this day and age, why do you need $5,000, $3,000? You should just be able to use your debit card or your credit card for that. And they don't like to see cash move like that. It's seen as suspicious and it's difficult to track. So essentially, KuCoin violated all of this supposedly. The crazy thing is KuCoin's not even a U.S. entity, nor are the founders U.S. citizens. These people they went on to basically say financial institutions like KuCoin take advantage of unique opportunities available to you in the United States and must comply with U.S. law to help identify and drive out crime and corruption, financing schemes. Crypto allegedly deliberately chose not to do so. Also, allegedly, KuCoin received $5 billion and sent out $4 billion in suspicious and criminal funds. Again, how do they know? They don't have access to KuCoin's records, financial records. They do not know. It's just considered suspicious, and therefore they always go after everyone as if they're financing terrorism. Always, even if they're not. That's always the suspicion, and therefore they crack down on them. In my opinion, I think this is absolutely horrible overall for the crypto industry. And to make matters worse, there was another news story. It was in Cointelegraph. KuCoin deemed fine by analysts despite criminal allegations. So this analyst from CryptoQuant, who by the way also looks like he's probably Asian, but he says, according to him, if it's true, I don't know, but supposedly, based on the blockchain records, that KuCoin has not commingled funds, which is what FTX did. FTX was commingling funds. And this guy is saying, hey, BTC and ETH withdrawal surged. Okay, right here he says, they appear to not commingle customer funds and have sufficient reserves to process user withdrawals, claiming that from an on-chain perspective, the exchange appears to be quote-unquote fine. And if that's true, this is basically them saying, we don't care what the U.S. government says. We're not U.S. citizens. We're not U.S. citizens. We don't operate our business inside the U.S. We're going to kind of do what we want to. And the U.S. government is going to attempt to crack down. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to this. And Minotron says, he said KuCoin didn't let him trade up till, I don't understand what you're saying, Minotron. KuCoin didn't let me trade up till USA went after them. Meaning you could trade before or after. I don't understand what that means. Probeach Bum says, love how the criminals and corrupt are trying to drive our crime and corruption. Man, you are speaking to the choir, brother. You are speaking to the choir. All right, we're almost done with this. Early Bitcoin investors launches lawsuit to recover a wallet with $560 million in Bitcoin, which was lost in the UK landfill. This has been going on for a while. I've covered this before on my channel where he actually got permission to go search the landfill. Basically, a guy mining some Bitcoins were on a hard drive. He threw out some hard drives, accidentally threw out the wrong hard drive. That hard drive had the Bitcoin he mined on it, and those Bitcoin are said to be worth $560 million today. He doesn't have access to them, cannot get access to them. It's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's trying to just get some is this a bit of a money grab or what? I mean, he's the one who threw it out ultimately. Right here, his partner at the time reportedly threw away the hard drive containing his crypto assets after he placed it on hold. What? I mean, he searched the area. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess he hasn't been able to search it. His requests have been rejected. But they would have to go through 100,000 tons of rubbish. The council says they've been contacted multiple times since 2013 about the possibility of retrieving a piece of IT hardware said to contain Bitcoins. By the way, it's called Bitcoin. Anytime you see an S put on Bitcoins, they're saying it wrong. It's Bitcoin, which may or may not be in our landfill site. The council has told Mr. Howells multiple times that excavation is not possible under our environmental permit, and work of that nature would have a huge negative environmental impact on the surrounding area. Yeah, that's this is interesting. Like, I don't know of any time in history where people have been able to sue a landfill to get something back and actually get it back, especially if it's been gone for an extended period of time. It's kind of a weird thing. If they incinerated it, which they probably didn't, then he'd be toast anyway. So that's wild. Anyway, it's an interesting story. Ladies and gentlemen, not your keys, not your crypto, but if you have your keys, don't lose them. If he had his private wallet keys, he would have no problem getting this back. But he obviously doesn't have the wallet. I mean, this is the part that gets me the whole time. He claims that he's lost the hard drive, but he's lost more than that. He lost his private keys. What, he had his private keys stored on the hard drive as well? That's essentially what he's saying. Like, that's your fault, dude. You got to back up your private keys. Ladies and gentlemen, do not leave your private keys on a notepad or some on your hard drive. You got to have it backed up somewhere else. And as you come in, do me a favor, smash that like button. Looks like we got about 10 people here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Pro Beach Bump said, I'd be there every day and night without permission. No kidding. Online Work said, let's go to the UK and look for it. I'm with you. That's so funny. All right, next up. Now, this is where we're going to start talking about some passive income protocols that are paying insane projects or investments, whatever you want to call it. By the way, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a very biased cryptocurrency YouTuber, ladies and gentlemen. I love this space. I believe crypto is going up. I believe in the humanity. I believe the individual right to freedom, right to privacy, and all that jazz. I believe in fair capitalism. I believe in individuals' right to self-determination. Like, I fully believe in all this. And so I got to tell you, this breaks my heart when I see stuff like this. South Korean police catch 4.1 million crypto scam duo. So I see headlines every day. I get alerts almost every day, not every day, almost every day. Somewhere in the world, some crypto scam has been shut down. Crypto FX was one I covered last week. Here's a Korean, I want to say couple. It's duo, couple of people, not a couple of people. A couple of Korean people basically ran a Ponzi scam, and they took $4.1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the cautionary tale first, and that is this. Anytime someone promises you a percent, and they're going to do some sort of crypto mining, they're going to do some sort of arbitrage trading, they're going to do some sort of sports betting on your behalf, and you cannot 100% in the moment verify what they're doing, they are most likely 100% scamming you. It's not even worth taking the risk. If you're going to take risk in crypto, there's plenty of ways to take risk with transparency. So don't even take risk. Wait a minute. Mind of Trump, you're saying you could not trade before. Can you trade now? Because that's hilarious if you can. Can you trade on KuCoin now? Okay. So first things first, I'm going to show you. Let's see. I'll show you this right here. I'm currently in the earn protocol myself. So earn protocol is paying a lot less. I'm about to switch over back to liquid loans. I was holding out on, they're paying out 70% APR, and I was holding out because I was waiting for these vaults to end. Not these vaults, sorry. These liquidity pools to end in the next, 38 days. I'm not going into here for lots of reasons, but liquid loans, the stability pool, I've talked about it on many live streams. Currently paying out 172% APR. That is uncompounded. APY is compounded. APR is just flat percentage. That is about a 0.5% per day right now that you're getting. Right now. You don't need to go into some protocol. You can get a 0.5% per day. And as long as there's, you've got smart contract risk, yes. You've got, the sort of liquid loans ecosystem risk, yes. But that is far better than not knowing what some nearly anonymous entity is doing with your funds and just trusting they're paying you back a little bit every day, every week, every month. Here, you know exactly what's going on. Understand the protocol. And I'm not trying to teach this protocol today. I've talked about it before, but 172% right now on a decentralized protocol is far better than an entity that is completely unknown and you don't know what they're doing with your money. Now, I'm not telling you it's safe. I'm not telling you it's safe at all. That's not what I'm saying. There are risks here, but in the world of risk, it is a much better risk. Here's another one. This is paying out 100% plus APR. A lot of you guys know I'm copy trading. I talk about it often. Let me see where we're at. This has been a hell of a month for me copy trading. I started out with about $9,500. I'm at about $12,500 right now. It's been a heck of a month copy trading, and trading in general. But these are people that I'm currently following. Not recommending you following any of these people. I mean, there are links in the description, but I'm not telling you to go do it. Figure out your own risk. You don't need to put in as much money as I'm putting in. Everybody has a different risk profile. Period in the story. That's my disclaimer. But with that being said, I'm not using this guy, but I would much rather do something like this. This is another trader. And you can see this page. I put the link in the description as well. You can see this page. I'm not in this guy. I'm not using this trader at all. He has a higher risk profile that I personally like. I prefer to see people at 1, 2s, and 3s. He goes all the way up to 6 or 7. I can't tell you that I haven't been tempted to use this guy though. His drawdown has been extensive, but that's a daily drawdown. His weekly drawdown has been non-existent. He's probably going to blow his account up at some point, but he's grown it to 27,000. He's doing 100% APR. Am I telling you this is safe? No, but that's 3% a day. And I'm telling you, I would much rather put my funds on something that's been running for 155 days right now and earning this kind of money than throwing it to some entity I do not know who they are. They're supposed to be making some sort of arbitrage strategy. Be careful for all these crypto scams that are going to pay you some sort of monthly return, and they're going to tell you a reason on how they can earn that return. And in many cases, you'll be hard-pressed to find somebody doing what they're doing and making that kind of return, meaning they're going to earn outsized returns in many cases, and people trust them. Let me see, where was it at? Oh, let's look at in 90 days, 300%. Now this is APY, this is compounded. I've had people email me, they're like, I don't make the same kind of earnings when I'm using, I don't make the same kind of earnings when I'm using my, I don't make the same kind of earnings when I'm copy trading. Well, you got to understand 2 reasons, slippage, but the other reason is this is compounded. This isn't like APR was uncompounded. Where's he at? Is it here? This guy actually, is it this guy? Yeah, he actually does a good job of telling you how to set up his stuff. Trade by position. You should always trade by position. Don't trade by order in most cases. Position trade, meaning if they use 10% of their account, it's going to use 10% of your account. If they use 2% of their account, it's going to use 2% of your account, whatever, even though you'll be trading with different account sizes. He tells you how much capital to put in. This is a suggestion of just 10,000, but you can put whatever you want. Turn it to own, 0 slippage. This is when the settings he's giving you. He says don't use a take profit, don't use a stop loss, but that is up to you if you choose to do that. He recommends you choose all pairs and that you turn off start copy positions immediately, and then click copy now. So I like that he kind of gives you his settings. I'm not telling you to use him at all. I'm just telling you that here's what I will tell you. No matter who you use, it's a good idea to turn on zero slippage, and it's a good idea in most cases to use position ratio. That's what you want to do. But I would much rather take my risk with a guy like this. At least I have an idea of what's going on. At least I can come here, watch this. I can go to current positions, and I can see what his positions are and what his leverage is. Now I don't know he's not letting us know his exact positions that he's in right now, but you could look on your you could probably look on your account, and if you can't look on your account, then when he closes, every single time he closes a trade, you know exactly what he closed and for how much profit in real time. So it's not like, you know, you got to find out later what happened. And most of these places that are claiming that they're going to pay you 1%, 2%, 3%, they don't even show you an actual record of trades of any kind. I mean, it's zero. So just be careful for that, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you want to follow my actual copy trading journey, and again, I may put something on this guy later just because it's so interesting at what he's been able to do. And I think his risk reward isn't horrible, even though I do think he's probably going to blow up eventually. If you look at what he's been able to earn, his overall risk reward, even though he's went as high as 6, he hasn't went to 7 or 8. And he's been able to earn these kind of returns. And his highest earnings have been the past few weeks, probably because of the volatility. And if you come here, he hasn't had too high drawdowns ever. So I find that very interesting. So who knows, I may put some on this guy. But if you want to follow my actual journey, my actual traders that I use that are a little bit more conservative anyway, then go in the description, follow my copy trading journey, where my goals are earn $1,000 a day, $1,000 a month, which I'm exceeding that this month for sure. All right, let's see what you all are saying before we wrap up today. Do me a favor. If you've enjoyed this content, if you've enjoyed my viewpoints, do me a favor and smash that like button if you haven't already. Online Work says go earn, go. Minotron says he couldn't trade before, now I can't deposit, only withdraw. He can trade with us there, but he can't. That's crazy, he can't deposit. Interesting. Pro Beach Bun said I've switched LPing full time and currently at 27% a month after 5 months of doing and learning. That's fees, earnings, not price appreciation. Yeah, that's really good. The problem with LPing is you have to earn those kind of returns, you have to do concentrated liquidity, you have to do strongly correlated pairs, and we've done good recently. It's just a bit of management, but LPing is good though. I mean, LPing is good. It's just so confusing for people to understand to get started. I got it in Minotron. I got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Any other questions or comments? Just let me know. I'll give you a minute to respond, or you can just say goodbye, and we'll go ahead and wrap up. Recapping the 2 protocols, by the way, that just because I want to, I'm not clickbaiting. Liquid Loans is earning about 0.5% per day. 0.5% per day in their stable coin. 0.5% per day. That's bonkers. If you compound that with a compound calculator, it gets out of hand. Quick. And then I showed RexxTrading just as an example. The dudes earn. By the way, what's interesting about this guy as well is if you come to his account assets, like he's keeping like 20 grand in there. This guy is earning a living for sure. Because at 20 grand at these kind of returns, I mean, that's basically 20 grand a month. Let's conservatively say he's making 10 grand a month. That's pretty crazy to think about. And the DJ in me is like, man, because even if you go out to 180 days, he's still, again, this is compounded APY. This is not APR. But still, if you look at that, he still ends up averaging, 50 to 80% a month on his low months over time. Yeah, Liquid Loans is Pulse Chain. Liquid Loans is, okay, let me back up. There was a project on Ethereum called Liquidity. Liquid Loans forked it and put it on Pulse Chain. They were first. Power City created the Earn protocol. In fact, Power City has another protocol. I don't know if it's active yet, but it's connected to liquid loans and it sort of does the auto compounding once a day. I don't know if that's active, but I've left it alone because that's like just additional smart contract risk, in my opinion, for now. So I haven't went there and messed with it. But Earn essentially forked liquid loans, except the difference is Earn uses Pulse X, where liquid loans uses Pulse PLS. Hopefully that makes sense. Online work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any other questions, let me know. Again, do me a favor, if you want to follow my passive income journey with copy trading, I'm actually going to expand that whole, those of you who are subscribed to that email list, I've got plans, I just haven't got to it yet, to expand that to a comprehensive full list of everything that I'm doing, email strategy, where I'm discussing all of my passive income strategies, not just copy trading. All right, online work. I'm glad I got that figured out for you. And good luck with your, who was it that was doing was it Pro Beach Bum? Yeah, good luck on your concentrated liquidity. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe in crypto. This is incredible technology. It's going to transform the world, no question about it. It already has in so many ways. It's unbelievable that you can earn 173% APR. By the way, I'll be moving over to this today. It's unbelievable that you can, by the way, all you got to do if you don't know what to do, all you got to do is withdraw from here. You're going to have PXDC. You can go to Patea, somewhere like that. You can swap that PXDC directly for USDL, and then I'll take my USDL and I'll just stake it here. I'll be good to go. I'm actually going to add about another $1,000 probably before the end of the month, so here in another day or two, to my liquid loans position. I'm going to build this out. Yes, I got some risk. Ladies and gentlemen, understand, I don't have all of my crypto here. I can't say that enough. This is why I'm diversified in my passive income strategies. This is why I'm diversified, because there's always a little bit of risk in everything. And it's going to be unforeseen risk. Something can look safe, it can look incredible, and then without you knowing it, it could get exploited. That is a real thing that happens. Man, I just realized the staking APR over here is 98%. That's crazy. I'll go into the stability pool for now. Minotron says, do I do any degen meme coins? Not right now. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain this to you. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how to, I could go off on this topic. I like degen plays like everybody else. I would love to take a few, bunts at some degen meme coins. The challenge is passive income is the thing. Like, that's where you can, when you're making a consistent renewable income, I can take more degen swings if I want. I can buy Bitcoin regularly if I want. I don't have to worry about what do I sell to buy more. I don't have to switch in and out of coins. I have constant renewable income. And I don't want to, right now, I don't want to take, meme coins are totally degen. And they either go, most of them go down and a few go up. And a few pump and then crash. Very few go big. And in almost every case, when you see meme coins exploded and you hear about these investors who made $1 million or $10 million, they just got lucky. Totally lucky. I don't have to get lucky in the passive income strategy, and I can create stability and security and an easy way to be able, constantly renewable way, no matter if the market's going up or down. I can keep buying Apex assets, and then I can make some more degen plays. The challenge I have is, where do I want to cap it at? I mean, I'll be at $5,000 a month soon. Well, it wouldn't take much to get to $10,000 a month, to be honest. And then it's like, do I keep going? Do I keep compounding, keep growing? Do I go for $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month? And the reason I say that, my most compelling reason to compound to a higher renewable income stream is because the cryptocurrency market is already so mature that we may see another 10x in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think it's the most sure bet in crypto is that Ethereum and Bitcoin could do a 10x. If you could have a sure bet in crypto, that's it. But we're not going to see much more than a 10x. We may see a 20x. That's it. And I would much rather be earning a passive $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in USD value in crypto monthly from multiple sources, and be able to use that and stack Bitcoin, stack Ethereum, then throw out $100 play, $500 play, $1,000 play on meme degen coins. But if I'm going to go into a meme coin, I'm going to go into a DGM play, I want to go in with enough size that it matters if I win. I don't want to go in with 50 bucks. I don't want to go in with $100 because most coins aren't going to do that magical 10,000x. Almost none of them are. Very, very, very few will. And I won't be able to necessarily predict it. So if I'm going in, then I want to be able to take 1,000 or 2 every month and throw it into some DGM play if I, feel like it. Because it's not a fear because I got more funds coming in next month. It's not a big deal. It's taking only a portion of that monthly renewable income and throwing it at something. Just kind of my thought. So that makes it difficult for me to play like the full DGM plays. And honestly, it's the biggest reason why I don't drop $10,000 into this guy right here. I mean, listen, he has a multi-month track record of earning almost 100% a month. And he hasn't blown up his account in 155 days. $10,000 in 1 month, theoretically, I should be able to put that in there and pull it out. But if I lost that $10,000, then I didn't lose $10,000. Right now, I earn about $400 to $800 per month on every $10,000 I invest. Well, this month I made more than that. But if I lose $10,000, I didn't lose $10,000. I lost my ability to earn $400 to $800 a month consistently. And the ability to earn $400 to $800 a month consistently over an extended period of time is far more important to me than what might happen on a $10,000 bet, essentially, which is what this would be. Now, I would like to grow my copy trading account closer to 20 grand. And then I'd probably be making $2,000 to $4,000 a month, $1,000 to $3,000 a month at least. At that point, I'd love to drop some funds on somebody like this with this kind of risk reward ratio. See what happens. It would be kind of fun. I mean, heck, if you just put $10,000 in there for 5 months, I mean, you're gonna, 10,000 becomes 20,000 in month 2, becomes 40,000 in month 3, 80,000 in month 4, month 5, you're at 160,000. That's interesting. But putting in $50 to make 1,800, possibly, that's just less interesting. So if I win it, I would want to go with something a little bit sizable, but knowing that it might not work. It just might not work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor, smash that like button. This is Crypto Wealth. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.